Okay.
You didn't happen to send this to me online too, did you?
Yeah.
Would you send it to me so I can deliver it to next week so they don't have to reinvent the wheel?
Oh, okay, sure.
So it happens.
It changes every time, so
I'm muted, it's just not coming through.
I can send you some.
Because you don't have the right link. Yeah, I do. You see this?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome
Shabbat
to our
Shalom.
Shabbat evening services. Great to see everyone who is joining us tonight. Hopefully you have had an amazing week, which will hopefully lead to a very restful, very peaceful Shabbat. Hopefully everyone deserves that. As the saying goes, if it's good enough for God, it's good enough for us. We can take a break as well. I want to just give a couple of quick notifications before we begin. During the course of the service, we will be muting everyone for the sake of being able to feature Dave Katz, who is leading services tonight, along with Cantor Coritan and Beverly, who will be providing the accompaniment this evening. A heads up thank you to Warren Bencover, who is manning the sound booth, is manning the control room this evening. Thank you for your help. If you have a part in this evening's services, when you are called upon, please unmute yourself and begin your reading, and then immediately mute yourself following. If you don't know where your mute button is, if you're on a desktop or a laptop, your control menu is at the bottom of your screen. Just the little microphone icon. If it is green or gray, that means you're unmuted. If it is red, that means you are muted. So just be sure, if you have a reading, just be sure to unmute yourself prior to beginning your reading when you're called upon. Also, there are opportunities for you to enter information in the chat this evening, such as those who have names on the Misha, you want to add names on the Misha Barak list or the Yurtzeit list later. If you have, Dave will be calling out page numbers, so if you have a Mishkan Tefillah like this at home, please be sure to follow along as Dave will be calling out pages. Without further ado, I want to turn it over to Dave to begin this evening services. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thanks, Andre. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm honored to be able to fill in tonight for Rabbi Dana Evan Kaplan, who is off on a well-deserved vacation. I believe this is his first vacation in over a year, so it's well-deserved. I just want to say a few words about our service before we start. Live streaming over Zoom has been a new experience for all of us over the past year. While the building has been closed due to COVID, the temple has been alive and well. There are certainly advantages to being able to participate in services without leaving our homes, but the technology has been a bit of a challenge. We seem to have momentary issues each week with the volume or our internet service or both, and we wanted you to know that we are working on it. Tonight, for example, we have our internet provider, Cox, monitoring our live stream to see if there are issues on their end and that they can correct. In the meantime, we appreciate your patience, and we know when the sound goes out. You are welcome to mention it in the chat area, but please understand that sometimes it's beyond our control, and just by waiting a few seconds, things usually return to normal. So with that, thanks for joining us, and enjoy the service. Right now, we'll turn it over to our president, Marvin Barris, for announcements.
Thank you, Dave. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm glad that you've joined us this evening. Welcome home to our temple, Beth Shalom. Few quick announcements. Purim is now over, and our next holiday is fast approaching, and that is Passover. This week, you will receive a number of announcements by email regarding the services that we'll be having. One will be a lecture on the Haggadah by Rabbi Kaplan. Then we'll have our Zoom Seder the first night. And then we are planning on having multiple outdoor Seders that the congregation can participate in. And you'll be getting all kinds of announcements regarding that. So the other thing that I want to announce is that we are working diligently to have in-house services starting the end of March. Most of the members of the temple, or a large number anyhow, will have had 2 shots plus 2 weeks. And for those of you that are in that category, you will be able to register to join us in the sanctuary for services. So look for an announcement for that as well. There's one announcement with Sherry Young, who wants to make an announcement regarding the sisterhood, and then I will have a short prayer which the URJ requested that we give at this time in honor of those that have passed away from COVID and in honor of those that are looking forward to a new future with the vaccines coming up. So Shari, your turn.
Yes. Hi, I am program chair for Sisterhood, and I am doing a reminder that the Women's Seder, this is a community Women's Seder that the Sisterhood has put on for many years, that Barbara Moss, I believe, developed. And this year we'll be doing it on Zoom. And it's on the 15th. That's our normal meeting day, the third Monday of the month. And if you've registered for it, there is no charge. And Nan Rubin is facilitating. And if you'd like a reading, get in touch with her. The flyer has been in the weekly bulletin and it's in the shofar. And Sisterhood is also preparing a Seder to go. Now, this is not Pesach, but this follows along with the kind of lunch that we normally would prepare, plus some of the accoutrement for our Seder program. And if you'd like to order that, Monday is the deadline. It's only $18, which is high. Anyone is welcome to order it. You don't have to order it because you're coming to the Seder. So either call the temple or call Yolanda Schatz. Anything else? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Shari. When I received this from the URJ, this prayer, I was uncertain where to put it in the service since they just sent it yesterday. But I decided to read it at the beginning now because it covers a lot of territory and it's quite sad. And I thought I would not like to interfere with the Shabbat service and the joy of Shabbat. So here we go. God of consolation, surely you count in heaven just as we count here on earth. In shock and in sorrow, the souls sent back to you one by one. The dead from the COVID pandemic, as the ones become tens, the tens become hundreds, the hundreds become thousands, the thousands become 10,000s, and then 100,000s, each soul a heartbreak, each soul a life denied. God of wisdom, surely in the halls of divine justice, you are assembling the courts, calling witnesses to testify, to proclaim the compassion of some and the callousness of others. As we struggle to cope, the souls taken too soon, whose funerals were lonely, who didn't need to die, who died alone, will tell their stories when you judge our triumphs and our failures in these hours of need. God of healing and end to this pandemic and all illness and disease, bless those who stand in service to humanity. Bless those who grieve. Bless the dead so that their souls are bound up in the bond of eternal, and grant those still afflicted with disease or trauma a completed and lasting healing, one by one until suffering ceases and we can stop counting the dead in heaven and on earth. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And with that, we'll let the cantor open the service with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Belechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzechem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Thank you, Baruch. And now we'll turn to page 120 for the candle lighting, which will be done by Jan Sotos in honor of her recent birthday.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
as these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring their offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead to us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Thank you, Howard. We missed Jan. Did we skip over you, or Jan?
No,
reconnected?
it went a little too fast while I was lighting the candles.
Okay, sorry.
Candles are now lit, so let's do the prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you, Jan. Now we'll turn to the Gomez family for a special reading.
Sorry, we're just opening up her prayer book. So Isabella chose her own reading from her children's prayer book tonight. What? Oh, okay. God, you gave us the Torah to show that you love us. May it always be a friend at our side. The Torah is our teacher. It tells us what is right and what is wrong. It shows us how to live good lives. Be with us always when we study Torah. Be with us always as we try to live good lives. We praise you, eternal God, who gave the Jewish people the Torah. It is your special gift to us. It is the gift of your love. Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much. We now turn to page 138 for Lachado D.
Lekadodi, likrat pitrat gala, penei Shabbat nekabala. Lekadodi, likrat pitrat gala, penei Shabbat nekabala la la. Lekadodi, likrat pitrat gala, penei Shabbat nekabala. Lekadodi, likrat pitrat gala, penei Shabbat nekabala. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Ishmianu el hamichad, Adonai echad u'shamo echad, L'shem u'tifiret v'li la 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 la, Lekal echad nodi, Nikrat v'chad kala, Penei Shabbat nekabala, Lekal echad nodi, Nikrat v'chad kala, Penei Shabbat nekabala. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzara, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, lekadoni, lekala, pane Shabbat lekabala, lekadoni, lekala, pane Shabbat lekabala, lekadoni, lekala, pane Shabbat lekabala, lekadoni, lekala, pane Shabbat lekabala.
Thank you. Now Sue Rankin will be reading a psalm on page 140 in memory of her father, Loser Horowitz.
Okay. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai. How very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. The righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in the courts of our God. In old age, they still produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, arresting that Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong.
Thank you, Sue. And now Steve Bold will do a reading on page 142.
Peace be to you, O ministering angels, messenger of the Most High, majesty of majesties, Holy One of blessing. Enter in peace, O messenger of peace, angels of the Most High, majesties of majesties, Holy One of blessing. Bless me with peace, O messengers of peace, angels of the Most High, majesties of majesties, Holy One of blessing. Depart in peace, O messengers of peace, angels of the Most High, majesty of majesties, Holy One of blessing.
Thank you. We start our Marv service now with the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, Am Vorach. Baruch Adonai, Am Vorach, Le'olam Vaed. Am Vorach, Le'olam Vaed.
Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. And Steve Siegel will now read on page 147 in memory of his mother, Shirley H. Siegel.
There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting all with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Let us bless. Amen.
And now we ask Carmen Berkowitz to read a passage in memory of her father, Joseph Lara. Carmen, if you're not there, we'll move on to page 148. Arlene Berger has a reading in memory of her mother-in-law, Rose Berger.
148. It's got to be this page, so it's got to be
Page
this.
148 at the bottom.
Okay.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly course according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzavot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Thank you.
So Adonai, Hamariv Avim.
Carmen, should we come back to you?
Yes, I'm unmuted now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Oh God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
Thank you. We'll move on to page 149, and Lael Summer will do a reading in memory of Aunt Rose Rose Turk Meyerowitz.
This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Arva'im.
Very good, thank you. And now Roz Goldstein will do a reading on page 150.
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Very good. We turn now to the Shema on page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Malachuto Le'olam Vaed Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. And now Michael Alvaredo will say the Via Hafta on page 154.
You can hear me? You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Be'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha be'ayu advarim האלה asher anochi meksavecha ayom al levabecha בשיננתם לבניך, בדיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ולבתך בדרך, ובשובך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתן על משושות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Very good. Now we turn to the Hafta. I'm sorry, Michamocha on page 158.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi kamocha va ali madonna mi kamocha nehedar bakodesh no ratehilot o sefele no ratehilot o sefele מלכות הקרא ובניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. כמוך ואלי מדונה, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא. יא לה 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 לה, יא לה לה יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה לה לה, יא לה לה לה. פדרנו אל יעקב, וגלומי על חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments, and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. That's Michamocha. Oh, okay.
On page, what have we got?
164.
164. Adonai sevetai teftak ufi yagid tehillatech. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagivor Anora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'gonei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot, V'imahot, ומבגיל לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע מקלקל חיים בחסד מחיי הכל ברגבים רבים צומק נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסירים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידה מלך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל Baruch atah Adonai mekayeh hakol.
We take a moment of silent meditation to reflect silently on all of our blessings and the blessings that we wish for others.
Oseh shalom bimromav, Yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Emru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
We ask you now to enter into the chat the names of those in need of healing, or your name if you're in need of healing, as Cantor leads us in Mishaberach on page 371.
Mishaberach avotenu Mekor Abraham imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu Mekor Abraham avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Thank you, Cantor. Well, not being a biblical scholar that Rabbi Kaplan is, when I was told that I had to do a sermon or a Devar Torah tonight, I had to do a little bit of research. So my go-to place for all things Jewish is a website called aish.com, AISH.com. And there you can find everything from a commentary on today's Parsha to the date of the first Seder to kosher recipes. Pam Katz has offered to be here tonight as my moral support and to share a Devar Torah from aish.com.
A life lesson. Moses came down from the mountain after receiving the 10 commandments from God and heard a lot of noise coming from amongst the Jewish people. This was right after the Jews had built the golden calf. So Joshua, who was right next to Moses, interpreted the noise as people shouting, but Moses said, "Not a sound shouting strength, nor a sound shouting weakness. A sound of distress do I hear." From Exodus 32:18. When Moses heard the commotion, he was able to ascertain immediately that the noise represented the sound of people in distress. How was Moses able to attach such a specific meaning to the shouting and know for certain what it meant? The answer is that most people hear what's being said. Others, such as Moses, take the time to actually listen to what's being said. This is a significant and monumental difference between hearing and listening. Hearing means that someone hears what's being said and then translates the message into meaning for himself. When you listen, however, you take an extra moment to think about the person who's speaking. It's only then that you have a clear understanding of what is trying to be conveyed. Since Moses listened to the rancors coming from the Jewish people, he was able to add into the equation that the Jews had not seen their leader for 40 days and were certainly insecure, concerned, and stressed. It was then that Moses immediately knew that the noise was certainly not of gleeful shouting, but rather a sound of distress. Once he knew this, he was able to respond in a way that would have been drastically different if he only chose to hear the noise and not listen to it. It's so important to go beyond the words you hear and instead listen to what's being said. For example, when a mother listens to her baby cry, she knows right away if it's a cry of unhappiness, hunger, or tiredness. But anyone else who's simply hearing the same cry might never be able to discern the kind of cry it was. But since a mother listens to her baby, she will add more to the message than just the noise of crying and will instantly know how to react. So, when someone says something of importance to you, try to listen to him and her by taking the time to think about their personal circumstances. The same words said by one person can have a vastly different meaning if they are said by someone else. And by listening, you'll know just how to react and be able to give the person precisely what they need.
Thank you, Pam. And now, keeping in the same theme, Cantor Cortan will sing an anthem this week called "Listen."
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all of your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way and listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen. Listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Malakuto Leolam. Listen, listen to our God. Listen, listen to our God.
Thank you, Baruch. That was wonderful. We now move on to our Torah service that will be read by Andre Ivory, and Faye Henning Bryant will do the blessings before and after.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamara.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamara Ve'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Tonight's reading is from Ki Tisa, Parsha Ki Tisa. And I'm going to read a little bit further into the Parsha, and you might hear something that's a little familiar. One of my favorite, if not my favorite Shabbat song is actually in this week's Parsha, so pay attention to it. Sheshet Yamim Ya'aseh Malacha V'Yom Hashvi Shabbat Shabbaton Kodesh Ladonai Kol Ha'aseh Malacha V'Yom HaShabbat Mot Yumat V'Shamru V'nei Yisrael Et HaShabbat Lasot Et HaShabbat L'Dorotam Berit Olam Beini Uvein V'nei Yisrael Ot Hi Le'olam Ki Sheshet Yamim Asa Adonai Et HaShamayim Ve'et HaAretz Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash. Vayiten el Moshe kechalto ledaber ito bachar Sinai shnei luchot haidat luchot even ketuvim be'etzba Elohim. You shall 6 days may work be done, but on the seventh day there shall be a Sabbath of complete rest, holy to the Lord. Whoever does work on the Sabbath day may die a slow death, as one of the commentators said about this particular part. The Israelite people shall keep the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It shall be a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he ceased work and was refreshed. When God finished speaking with him on Mount Sinai, he gave Moses the 2 tablets of the pact, stone tablets inscribed by the finger of God. So as I said at the opening, if it's good enough for God, it's good enough for us. Faye.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Faye and Andre. Before we say the mourner's Kaddish and concluding prayers, I would like to read the names of those who have departed in this season, and feel free to add anyone in the chat, anyone who's not on the list. We remember the recent death of Robert Gurney and civil rights leader Vernon Jordan, Mary Adams, aunt of Sheila Lovinger, Rose Berger, mother-in-law of Arlene Berger, Robert Center, husband of Leah Center, Gloria Cohn Davis, sister of Abraham Cohn, Shirley Feynman, sister of Rhoda Edwards, Meyer Green, father of Nancy Milstein, Loser Horowitz, father of Susan Rankin, Shirley A. Jacobs, mother of Phyllis Jacobs, Belle Kalish, mother of Lawrence Kalish, Fanny Cast, mother-in-law of Ruth Cast, Joseph Lara, father of Carbon Berkowitz, Jerry Linderman, husband of Brenda Linderman, Samuel Rosen, brother-in-law of Alice Rosen, William Roth, father of Miriam Rosenthal, and Shirley H. Siegel, mother of Steve Siegel. And again, if there's anything we missed, please feel free to type it in the chat area. And with that, we'll do the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yiskara v'yiskara shemei rabah, v'yalma divrach Yerusei v'yamlich malchusei, v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol beis Yisrael, v'agalah uvizman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei rabah m'barach le'olam almei almayah. Yisbarach v'yistabach v'yispar v'yisramam v'yisnasei. V'yishadar v'yishalev v'yishalal shemei d'kudashah baruchu. Le'elam min kol berchasa v'shirasa Tush b'chasa v'nechamasa da'amiram bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
I have my cup.
Okay. Oh, I didn't bring a cup this week. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I'll partake.
It's all yours.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinkin lanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, Yom Techila Mikra Kodesh Zeher Etziat Mitzrayim Kibanu Vacharta Otanu Kidashta Mikomim B'Shabbat Kodshecha V'Ahava Uvratzon Inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Look, I am.
Good stuff.
Great stuff. And then I've got the raised and call. It looks like somebody looking at you, doesn't it? With the two eyes.
The worms got to it.
Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lecha min haaretz. Amen. I'd offer you, but we're still observing all our paraphernalia for the COVID. Okay. Are you going to read the English to this, to the priestly benediction, or do you want me to do it?
What page is that?
I don't know. Does it have a page? I don't think it has a page.
I don't have a page, so I guess not.
All right.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ken yehi ratzon.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God look kindly upon you and be gracious to you.
Isa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
May God reach out to you in tenderness and give you peace and, above all, love.
But before we do Tefillah Derek, I just want to mention that anyone who wants a reading in next week's service or any service just needs to call the office. Don't wait to be asked. We're always looking for people to partake in the service. So now we'll do Tefillah Derek.
I hope you're singing at home. May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Thank you,
Shalom,
David.
and thanks to all of you who
Thank you,
participated
Pam.
tonight.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Beverly.
joining us. Shabbat Shalom.
It's over?
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us service this evening. Hope you have a wonderful Shabbat. Hope you have a restful Shabbat. May we see you here again soon for any one of our wonderful programs coming up in the coming week, whether it be Torah study, whether it be services next Friday, or any of the wonderful programs, or the Women's Seder coming up in another week and a half, hosted by Sisterhood. Please join us for all of our programs. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. See everyone soon.
Shabbat shalom, Andre.
Okay, here's
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Sending love to
Very
everybody.
nice service.
Thank you, Dave.
Very nice.
Dave.
Yeah, it was a wonderful service.
Beautiful.
Shabbat.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good
Bye-bye.
night, everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Bye, Bonnie.
Good night, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Hi, Miriam.
Hi. Hi.
That's Mary.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, Miriam.
Hello. Hi, Diane. Hello, Ross.